Hi everyone, welcome to MSCR Makes. I'm Miss Julia, and today I have a really special project for you. My friend, Miss Liz, from over at Virtual Outdoor Club, made a cloud finder the other day. It was really cool, and it's going to be part of Move It Madison for June. So I'm going to show you in a step-by-step video how you can make your very own cloud finder. There's a few different ways that you can make the clouds for your cloud finder, so we'll start there. My first example, I made my clouds just by drawing them on my paper. So if you don't have any of the other supplies that I offer up, you can go ahead and use just some markers and paper or even a pen and draw all of your clouds for your cloud finder. But here are some other materials that you can use to make the clouds for your cloud finder. You might want to use something like fluffy filling for pillows and other sorts of things like that. You can use cotton balls or cotton rounds. You could use some white fabric or even some paint and a paintbrush. Pause the video here and go and see what you can use to make some clouds around your home. Now that you've had a chance to find something to make your clouds with, I'm going to show you the other supplies. The other supplies that you'll need for this project are some paper, some glue. You can use hot glue if you have a grown-up around to help you, but remember, a hot glue gun is hot, so you'll want a grown-up to help. You could use a glue stick or regular white glue. You'll want a marker or a pen, maybe both, some scissors, and if you have it, some cardboard. I'm just using an old cereal box for my cardboard. And you might want to grab a ruler or something that's square shaped. I found this little tin box in my house that's a square. It will help me cut out the inside square so I can look at my clouds through it. You can pause the video here and go gather the rest of your supplies. Now that you've had a chance to gather the rest of your supplies, I'm going to move some things out of the way. I'm going to start with my cardboard and cut out my view-finding square. This is the part where I'll be able to look through it and see my clouds. So I'm going to take the box that I found that is a square shape and trace around it. It doesn't have to be perfect because I'll be cutting it out and covering it up with some paper. Remember, if you don't have any cardboard at home, that's okay. You can skip this step. Then I'll grab my scissors and I'm going to very carefully fold over my cardboard just a little bit and use my scissors to make a small cut right in the middle of my square. This small cut is going to help me cut out just the inside part of my viewfinder. So remember, just fold it over a little bit and use your scissors to cut. Next, I'll use my scissors and very carefully cut around the inside of my square. Now I have my viewfinder part of my square, a nice hole that I can look at clouds through. I'm going to set this aside for later. The next thing I'll grab are my pieces of paper. I used a white piece of paper to write all of the little details about the different types of clouds on so that it will stand out against my blue sheet of paper. If you don't have extra paper, you can just write right on whatever color paper you have. So I made ones for each of my clouds: a stratus, a cumulonimbus, a cumulus, and a cirrus. So I'm going to start mine by going ahead and attaching my paper to my cardboard cutout. I'll use my glue stick for this part. Remember, if you don't have cardboard, that's okay. You can do this using just a sheet of paper. And I'm going to show you a trick for getting a nice clean edge for the inside of your paper. I'm not going to cut out my square ahead of time on my paper. I'm going to stick it right onto my cardboard and press down. Now, you can see on the back side of my cardboard, I can see exactly where I need to cut. So I'll do that same trick where I carefully fold over my paper and cardboard and make a little cut. Then I'll use my scissors to cut out my square. Now I have a hole so I can look at clouds through it. The next thing I'm going to do is show you a bunch of different ways that you can make all of your clouds. I think I'm going to start with my cumulus clouds. Cumulus clouds are big, puffy, white, and low in the sky. So I think for my cumulus clouds, I'm going to use my filling. This is stuff that I normally use to make a pillow with, but I think it will make a really good, big, puffy, white cloud. So I'll kind of squish it into shape. And since I am a grown-up, I'm going to use my hot glue gun for this part. Remember, you can also use regular glue. You'll just have to wait for it to dry. But if you use hot glue, have your grown-up help you. I'll put a little bit of glue down where I want my cloud to be and stick it. Then I'm going to use my glue stick to glue on my little piece of paper that has the description or the parts about my cloud that make it a cumulus cloud. Remember, I want to try to leave as much of my viewfinder open as possible. The next cloud I'll do is my cirrus cloud. These clouds are high in the sky, thin and wispy. For these ones, I think I'll use one of my cotton circles. What I'll do is pull it apart. You can do the same thing with a cotton ball or even fluffy stuff. So I'll make it into some thin and wispy little bits. And then I'll use my glue gun and glue them down. So now I have some thin and wispy cirrus clouds. I'll glue the description next to my clouds. Next, I'll do the stratus clouds. Stratus clouds are close to the ground with fog or rain and wispy in wide blankets. For these, I'll use my paint. I'll use my paintbrush and make some wispy wide blankets. That looks pretty good. I'll go ahead and glue my description next to my painting of the clouds. Finally, I have cumulonimbus. These are dark gray, tall, large, and for thunderstorms. For these, I think I'll use my piece of fabric I have. I'll take my scissors and cut myself a more manageable piece. The piece I have right now is very big and does not fit on camera well. Now that I have a slightly smaller piece, I can cut it into a tall, large cloud shape. Now that I have my cloud shape, it's not the right color. I have a white piece of fabric and this one needs to be dark and gray. So I'll use my marker and color it. That looks like a good cumulonimbus cloud for a thunderstorm. I'll go ahead and use my glue and glue it on. And I'll glue on the description too. There's my cloud finder. I used a bunch of different techniques to make my clouds so that you could see some different options. But remember, if you only have one of the options, that's okay. You can use whatever you have on hand at home to make your clouds. I made my cumulus cloud with some stuffing for pillows. I made my cirrus clouds with some cotton circles or cotton balls. I painted on my stratus clouds and used some fabric that I had and a marker to make my cumulonimbus clouds. But you can also just draw all of your clouds if you don't have any fluffy things to make your clouds with. We'll leave the links below for the other video with Miss Liz and her cloud finder and the cool things that you can do with yours. And we'll leave the link for Move It Madison so you can get out there and take your cloud finder to find some clouds. Here's a picture of a cloud that I found with my cloud finder. What kind of cloud do you think it is? Well, I hope you enjoyed this craft and I hope you check out Virtual Outdoor Club and Move It Madison. I'll see you in the next one. Bye!